What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be going over 5 pants that look good with streetwear and sneakers. What's really cool about fashion right now, there's not just like one go-to look that everybody is running towards. So that means people are experimenting more, trying out different looks. I think it was Gunna who draped over the sneakers with some pants that were tapered in the ankle. It looked crazy, but kind of tight at the same time. I just saw Jerry Lorenzo rock some no-show socks with Jordan 4s and some hiked up sweatpants. So what I'm trying to get across is there's just a ton of different looks that you could play around with. And so today we are going to be going over the 5 pants that look good with streetwear and sneakers. These are 5 pants that I'm currently wearing. There's obviously way more looks out there, but I wanted to show you guys some pants that are easily accessible. You know, you can buy them right now, and pants that are easy to pull off. We've left links in the description box below to any that I'm talking about. All right, I say we get right into it. Alright, so pants number 1, what a lot of people would consider made popular by Fear of God, we got the drawstring sweatpants. So with these, it really comes down to the color of the fabric, the drawstring at the bottom, and just the fit of the sweatpants that really separate them from other ones that I've seen on the market. Some people even said throughout the years, I wouldn't agree totally with this statement, but some people say it is the sweatpants that carried Fear of God throughout the years when other trends were really popping. Some people were questioning Fear of God, but they were saying it is the sweatpants that kept them in the game. And I think it is because of the details I just mentioned. Theirs actually really stand out. So they offer God Gray, obviously very popular. They offer this core black. So their core black is really dope because it's definitely not a jet black ink that they use in their sweatpants, sort of like an aged look, but being fresh at the same time. They also have a very nice heathered gray. When it comes to gray and sweatpants, there's this concept that I want to bring up to you guys. When it comes to gray, you don't want the gray to come off like lazy, if that makes any sense. You want a lot of heather textures in the gray that'll make it feel a little bit more premium. Gray sweatpants are kind of in that area where if you put on the wrong color, it's just gonna look like you know, running some errands to the groceries or whatnot. So yeah, Fear of God does a really great job at their grays and their blacks. That's why I think they recycle their colors again and again on various pieces. They do realize they got them down to a T. And besides the colors of any drawstring sweatpants, people really like the versatility of this bottom portion right here with the toggle. Okay, I'm not gonna specifically talk about Fear of God's too much. Obviously their toggle is very premium, but I want to just talk about the design of it and what it does. You could drape the sweatpants over some Jordan 1s if you do loosen up the toggle, and it'll look dope. Or you could just tighten it up right here, give that really tapered look in the ankle, and expose the sneaker a little bit more. So that's what's really cool about the drawstring sweatpants when it comes to sneakers. You do have a lot of looks to play around with. Obviously, I had to give Fear of God their respect. They make a great product, but if you could put those small details aside and you're just trying to get the look down, ASOS makes a really good, cheaper alternative, like way cheaper. I'm talking about like 20 to 30 bucks. You're obviously not going to get that premium heavyweight material and the premium hardware, but you're going to get that look down for a much cheaper price. Like I said, we'll leave links down below to any cheaper alternatives that I do recommend. But yeah, I just wouldn't have been right bringing up these pair of pants and not bringing up the Fear of God ones. Obviously, they're setting the tone. Alright, so the next pair of pants I want to talk about are these athleisure joggers from Nike. So when it comes to the athleisure joggers, if it has the wrong type of mesh, wrong type of ripstop, just wrong material, it could easily become a little bit too athletic, all right? So that's why it was really important to get this fabric right here. It's almost like a soft brushed cotton, and this is what, in my opinion, give these pants a more everyday vibe compared to pants I feel like you gotta run sprints in them. I wouldn't really recommend wearing these with high tops. The whole point of the cuff area is to show off your ankle and whatnot. And one thing I gotta bring up to you guys, there's been pants out there that do still have this like adjustable cuff area, but even when they're zipped up all the way, they'll still fall down and cover your ankles. But this is the one pair of pants that I've experienced that when they are zipped up all the way, it is tight enough to hug your ankle and stay in place. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this pair of pants. But if you guys want some alternatives, there's Lululemon, there's Uniqlo makes some. I've been rocking these a lot lately with some Sakai's. Don't want a, nice little casual shirt from Uniqlo, you got yourself a fit right there. Overall, when it comes to these pair of pants, really look out for the right material and a cuff that actually stays. Really important for the short dudes. Like I said, I did a lot of research to narrow it down to these right here, so I think you'll like them. All right, let's move on to the third pair of pants. So for the next pair of pants, we got any sort of cargos that drape over your sneakers. So when it comes to these, you really want to look out for cargos that aren't tapered to the point where you cannot place them over the sneaker's top portion. For the longest time, a lot of people enjoyed putting the cuff behind the tongue, which is still a cool look, but something about putting the cuff over the tongue on a pair of sneakers just looks a little bit more like relaxed and I would say easier on the eyes, if that makes any sense. So a lot of companies are opting for pants that give you both options. You know, they're tapered enough where it does still look cool when you do place them behind the tongue, but they are just wide enough to place them over the sneakers. The Richie Le Collection one, perfect if you know what I mean. And the best sneakers, in my opinion, to pull this look off with are high tops. Obviously, lows would work as well, but you want, you know, to have a sneaker that you could put something over with, if that makes sense. You want something to cover, basically. So, you know, your Jordan 1s, 4s are really dope, even 5s. What I really like about 4s and 5s for this look, there's just more of like this heftier base with those sneakers that look better with the drapier cargos, in my opinions. Sometimes with 1s, the silhouette can just look so narrow that it might look a little bit too washed out with the cargos draping all over them. That's why 1s look really good when you do place a cuff behind the tongue. And so it's kind of, you know, this concept I'm trying to bring up to you guys. This look has been going on for a while now, but it's just something that I wanted to point out to you guys. Rude makes these cargos. Obviously, these are the Richie Le cargos. Minimal. There's just a ton of brands out there. But yeah, any cargos that drape over the sneaker looks really dope right now. Just really pay attention to how wide the opening is so you can go for the look. And one thing I want to bring up to you guys when it comes to these pants, obviously, you know, to get specific fabric or hardware at the bottom, you will have to go for specific brands. But as far as just finding a pair of baggy cargos that can go over your sneakers, trust me, the brand is out the door. You know, you could just find these at the thrift store, just anywhere, all right? I'm just talking about cargos in general that are wide enough to put over sneakers. This could be from any brand. All right, so the next pair of pants I want to talk about are these like crinkle cuts, not crinkle cut, those are french fries. Crinkle nylon pants. These are specifically made from John Elliott, but it could be any brand. Let's talk about these. So I brought these up last summer in a vlog. A lot of people were asking about them. And what's really dope about these is they don't lean too hard into any sort of trend. That's why I think they've been able to stand the test of time throughout the year. And they're still really dope to rock. They're basically like a wide-legged pair of pants, kind of like a track pair of pants, but they do have the tapering option at the bottom. So with the sweatpants that I showed earlier with Fear of God, even if you taper them all the way, you still see the hardware at the bottom, the drawstring and everything. But with these, what's really cool is you could taper them all the way as much as you like, but it is hidden on the inseam right here, so you do not actually see the drawstring. And when you loosen them up all the way, you don't see it as well. So it's really cool. You're basically customizing the taperedness, but it doesn't look like a pair of pants that have that ability. Also, what I like about this pair specifically is it's basically obviously like a more athletic material, but it has the color of something that would be a little bit more leisure. So it's like you're getting the best of both worlds. We do have something coming out from Richie Le Collection this fall that are pretty similar to these, but with some pockets on the side that are hidden for that functionality purpose. Because one thing I, like about cargos is you could just stuff a bunch of stuff in them when you are traveling and whatnot. But yeah, these have like no pockets at all. So yeah, the Richie Le Collection ones are coming out soon. All right, guys, so there we have it for the crinkle ripstops. Let's move on to the last pair of pants. All right, so last but not least, earlier I was telling you guys that I wanted to show you guys pants that I'm, currently wearing, really feeling right now. And these are definitely it. I got a pair of stone-washed denim with very light distressing on them. So just something about, not having huge crazy knee blowouts and rips everywhere right now. It's just what I'm on right now. And what I really like about these, it just allows you to have some balance to your outfit, what I've always brought up to you guys. So what I mean by this is you have a pair of very subtle denim, and that allows you to have some crazy sneakers or a crazy top. I've never been a big fan of crazy loud sneakers, crazy distressed ripped up denim, and a crazy top. If you guys look at all my outfits, they're pretty subtle, but one aspect of the outfit is usually pretty loud. So with these, it really allows me to feel comfortable wearing a pair of louder sneakers without feeling like I'm trying to do too much. And with this all being said, this is no knock on the crazier distressed denim. You know, I'm big on distressing, but sometimes it's nice for a switch up, and I still definitely like that ripped up look, but right now, this is definitely what I'm feeling. Overall, these are from Fear of God, but I didn't want to talk about these too much. It's not about this pair of specifically, it's more about the wash and the lack of distressing that I wanted to talk about. You can find these from Levi's. We have some subtle denim dropping from Richie Le Collection in the fall, so just keep a lookout. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any questions, and like I said, I've left links in the description box below for you guys if you guys are looking for pants of your own. Make sure you guys are subbed to the channel. Please hit that like button. Let's get this video to over 5,000 likes if we can, and we'll drop a crazy giveaway for some Richie Le Collection. I'm losing my voice out of here, so I gotta get out of here. Leave a comment down below, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.